Very good noon, students. We are here for you to help you, to guide you for the CA Foundation course, Paper 2B, Business Correspondence and Reporting, regarding for your BoS for the success for June 2023 examination. We're here to guide you how to prepare for the exam since the exams are approaching from June 24th. So we welcome here also Ms. CA Vandana Nagpal, our Director, Board of Studies. Ma'am will guide you how to prepare, how to do well, and how important this paper is for your forthcoming examination, as well as for your to be as a future professional. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Priyamvada. Thank you. A very good afternoon to my dear students. We welcome you for this particular session of BoS for your success for the June 2023 examination. Students, you are very well aware this is not a new subject. All of you have read this paper. English, you have read at all levels, and in your 11th and 12th also, you have already read this particular paper. This paper is here for you to test your communication skills, because you are going to join a profession where your communication skills are very important, right? So that is why it is forming part of the syllabus at this level, right? So students, what you have already done, we are just going to do the brushing up of this particular subject, and there's nothing new which you haven't done before and you're going to do it now. So we are here to tell you how to prepare, how to strategize your studies so that you are able to fare well in the examination. And I hope, students, that you would have already appeared for the mock test series 1 also. If you have not, download the paper, attempt the question, and then see the answer, and then see where you have gone wrong. And another mock test series 2 is also going to start from 22nd of May. Do try appearing in that, which will help you in assessing your preparation, right? Don't think if you are not faring well in this exam, you will not do well in the final exam, which is going to be there in June. Just take it that way, that if some lacunas are there in your preparation, you can always know where you have gone wrong. And this is one paper you must write and do it. Just don't read and just you feel, yes, you know, because you need to have the practice of writing. Sometimes what we think, what we assimilate, and we do not put it in writing, because nobody is going to know that what you know till the time you do not write. So if you write the way question has asked you, you will be getting marks. Fine, students. So now, students, we are going to just start. Along with me, Priyamvada is there. She'll take you through the details, nitty-gritty of the subject, whereas I'll give you an overall view. Fine. So the students, this particular paper is divided into 4 parts, right? The chapter 1 is about communication. So this is only one chapter from which theory-based question come. And usually in each of the question which come, one part is devoted to this particular communication, right? So that is going to talk about bit of theory, right? They're going to ask you questions about the importance of communication, what type of communication is there, formal communication, informal communication. So we want you to know the basics of communication so that this is going to help you in actually interpreting it in the right direction, fine? And the weightage of this particular chapter is 12.5 to 15%. So out of a paper of 40, you will be getting the question for around 5 to 6 months. Right? Then comes the part 2, that is sentence types and vocabulary. This is in context with chapters 2 and 3. And again, the weightage is 25%, which is around 9 to 10 marks out of 40 marks paper. Then comes part 3, that is comprehension and note making. Again, it is having the weightage of 25% and marks, say out of 40, 10 marks. And this is chapter 4 and 5. Comes the chapter 4, developing writing skills. This is again from chapter 6 to 13. And the weightage is slightly higher because it's going to test your writing skills. And the percentage is 37.5%, say around 15 marks out of 40. So accordingly, you plan your studies, that wherever they are scoring things, I'm telling you, this communication is very scoring. Sentence types and vocabulary is also very scoring. And I'll say comprehension and note making is also, because what is there in the comprehension, you have to answer based on that. So what you have to do is you need to read the comprehension well. You should understand what the comprehension is talking about. Fine. And your sentence types and vocabulary will be asked in various sections, right? Like in comprehension, there may be something about synonyms, something about antonyms, then prefix, suffix, all these types, active, passive, direct speech, indirect speech, all these are getting covered in your comprehension also. And a student's note making is very important. You understand the importance of note making. What happens is, there is a note given to you and you need to know, because it tells you, because I'll tell you, it is one step ahead of your Précis writing. Fine. How to reach the Précis level is from note making. Because note making, you have to see what all is there in different paras. Because you have to then see which are the important words which are coming over there, where you have to put it in brief, right? Abbreviation of that. Because these abbreviations, you can use it while drafting your note. Because ultimately, it is going to take you to the summary of that particular note, right? On Précis, there is again a separate question also. But understand the difference between note making and between the Précis also, right? So what we want you is, your grammar should be very good. Your vocabulary should be good. Inculcate the habit of opening a chapter, read something or the other. I'll tell you, you don't have to read. I'm not asking you to read a particular book. Read the newspaper. Read the newspaper on a daily basis, especially the middle section. That is the article section, where the views of the author are there. Something which has happened, some event which has taken place, or some law which has come into place. It's regarding the events, the new things which are happening in the economy. They are covered in the central page of the newspaper, right? There, you will know how really you have to express yourself. Something has happened and your views are sought. This is something you must read. It will tell you the manner in which you need to write, the flow in which you need to write your, paragraph or essay, or suppose there is a kind of a letter you have to write to some of the authorities, right? All these things, once you read the newspaper on a daily basis, it is going to make a difference in your understanding. And when you are reading the newspaper or any good book, keep the dictionary with you. Or you are having online dictionary also available with you. But I'm telling you, I'm telling you from my experience that I started reading newspaper when I was in class 6th. So that habit of mine is continuing with me till this date, right? So I'm telling you, the first book which I read, I'm giving you the name also of the book. The name of the book was Gora. It is written by Ravindranath Tagore. And I'll advise you to start with this book. Keep the dictionary with you. And I'm telling you, when I read this book, when I had appeared for my 10th board examination, after I had done with my exams, I started reading this book. It was something very heavy for me at that time. But I had kept the dictionary with me. And whenever I was reading, you just understand, I took 1 month to complete that. And from that book, I noted the meanings. What are the meanings for the particular words which were coming? And what are the antonyms also? What are the opposite words also? And I'm telling you, it helped me in building up my vocabulary. And the way my expression is, it's because I've gone through all this. So my advice to you is that you also inculcate this habit of reading newspapers, reading good books, good literature, which is going to make a difference in your expression. See, expression is required when you enter this profession, when you become a chartered accountant. Because everybody says, na, MBAs have got very good communication skills, right? But chartered accountants, they know very well, but their communication skills are not that good. I am telling you, this is a kind of this is a statement which is very wrong today, because chartered accountants can express themselves much better because they know the nitty-gritty of the subject, and they are the ones who can interpret the things in a much better way. So this is going to be the stepping stone for you. So must inculcate this habit of reading good books, newspaper, and keeping the dictionary with you. If you do all this, I'm telling you, this paper is a cakewalk for you. You will score like anything. And once you come to intermediate, final, your expression will be so good that you read, write, and you are able to express yourself very well. And you will score very well. And what you will turn out to be, you will be I'm telling you, you will be a professional with exceptional writing skills and oral skills, oral communication skills, as well as written communication skills. Right, students? And one more thing I would like to add over here is, this particular paper is going to test your knowledge and comprehension skills and your application skills, right? Knowledge and comprehension is going to be tested in the vocabulary, opposites, synonyms, active, passive, direct, indirect speech, different types of clauses which are there, type of sentences, simple sentence, compound sentence. All these things are going to be covered in the knowledge and comprehension. Only the note making, précis, paragraph, your letter and comprehension are going to test your application based skills. Because what you read, you have to write. What have you understood? So that is the application of what you have understood. You are going to write in the paper, right? So students, I'll not take too much time of yours, because I would want Priyamvada to take you through each and every particular topic. What are the nitty-gritties, where students go wrong, and how you can improve, right? And another thing, students, is my advice to you is, if you have not downloaded the BoS mobile app, you must do it today, because this will keep you posted about the major notifications, announcements, which are developments which are happening, and you will be connected with the institute. And you must visit the ICI website, and in the ICI website, the BoS knowledge portal, because this is the start of your journey. Make this habit so that when you are going to go to the different levels, you are acclimatized with what we are wanting you to know, right? And students, one more thing is that we also conduct the classes also for you. The live classes also we are doing. And for this June exam, we have already conducted these sessions for you. In case you are having any doubts, you can always see the recorded lectures at the BoS knowledge portal or at the BoS mobile app. Fine. And in case you still have certain queries, you can post your queries in the BoS mobile app, ask your query section. So don't feel that you are away from us. We are very much with you, and we are hand-holding you. We want you to reach that level and become a true professional, a great chartered accountant. So with this, I'm wishing all of you all the best. Do well in your life and be very focused. Fine. Have a focused approach and nobody can stop you. And now I'm requesting Priyamvada. She'll now take you through and she will take care of each and every aspect of this paper. Thanks a lot. Over to you, Priyamvada.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are so delighted that Director Board of Studies herself has shared her experience that how we can excel in this specific paper and how this paper is important in professional as well as in our personal life. It is not, you don't need to clear this paper only, but this paper forms the basis for your CA profession. Please understand this paper is very important, not only for this foundation level. Once you're through with your communication skills, through with your writing skills, you can do well in your inter as well as in final exams. This paper is merged with Paper-2 2A law, business law. So that is for 60 marks and this is for 40 marks. Please understand this is a very scoring paper. Coming towards these aspects, the part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 2, you're already aware this sentence type, vocabulary, this is a very scoring paper. So over to you, ma'am. Thank you so much for this guidance. I'll guide you how important this communication and sentence type, comprehension, developing writing skills are important. As ma'am rightly said that this communication chapter is a theory chapter, right? Please understand this chapter. 5 to 6 marks out of 40 marks come from this chapter. So the questions could be direct or indirect. What is formal communication? What are network communication? So these are all chapters. Once you're through with this chapter, and this is the only theory chapter for the whole paper. So 5 out and 6 marks out of this 40 marks are very important. Question number 2 to 5. Usually first part of question comes from this paper only. There are 2 mark question. It could be 1 mark question also. So, and the level is level 1, that is knowledge and comprehension based questions. That means you have to understand this chapter thoroughly. And this is the only chapter where you just need to understand the chapter and write it in your own language. It is not necessary to write it only as per the study material. You can write it in your own language as well. So please go to this first chapter thoroughly. All the networks, the barriers, and everything. There could be some direct questions, which I've already discussed. There could be some indirect questions also, like body language can sometimes be deceptive. Physical barriers are a result of our surroundings. So these type of questions can be asked in this paper, which is very scoring. This chapter is merged with this law paper just to give you good marks. All right. Now coming to the chapter number part 2, which is sentence type and vocabulary. This is chapter number 2 and 3. What topic is this sentence type? This topic is basically building blocks of formal and informal sentences and language construct. This is a basic of your language. Once you know how to construct a sentence, once you know the grammar of sentence, you will be able to secure good marks in this chapter. It is very easy, very convenient, but yes, what you say is grammar. The grammar is very important. Here, this chapter will form a base not only for this foundation level, but also for the inter and final level. So go through this chapter, you have to understand all the grammar rules, everything, the types of sentence, simple, compound, complex sentence, active voice, passive voice. There are many examples given, many things given for your practice as well. Go through the RTPs, MTPs, many things are given for you to practice and develop your grammar. Once you start developing the sentence and start knowing the difference in active voice, passive voice, simple and compound sentences, you'll be able to secure good marks in this topic. From the question number 2 to 5 in the question paper, please understand these questions come. The type of questions could be converted into from passive to active voice, convert from active to passive voice, converted direct to indirect speech. These all topics you will cover in the sentence type. Then vocabulary. Okay, I would like to say one more thing, that how to develop this sentence type, how to improve my grammar. Our Vandana ma'am directly said that you can you can increase your sentence structure by reading newspaper. Newspaper usually have a passive voice sentence writing. They usually use passive voice. So read newspaper. It is not necessary you read full newspaper. You can read a para, but if you're reading a para or a 2 paragraphs, please mark those words which are complex and which are unaware of. So please see how these sentences are made and how you can inculcate in yourself and use it in your exam. All right. So you need to comprehend with the rules and laws for to converting the sentence from direct to indirect speech or vice versa, from active to passive voice or vice versa. Practice extensively. Without practice, this chapter won't work for you. For the communication chapter, you need to be thorough with all the topics of the chapter, the types of communication, barriers of communication. For the sentence type, you need to practice the questions, because here the questions come from the application type question. It will not be the same question which are there in your study material. It can be, but it cannot be the same. They'll ask you any question, any practice sentence, you just need to convert it into passive or indirect speech, whatever be the question. Every part, 1 or 2 parts come from these questions. All right. Then vocabulary. Vocabulary are synonyms, antonyms, suffix, prefix, same meanings. These are all antonyms, idioms. So, okay, the questions are usually MCQ types, sentence types, and vocabulary. And vocabulary you can increase with the help of dictionary. We have pocket dictionaries with you. Please see those dictionaries. We have online dictionaries for you. You already have so many resources available with you. So go through that, and please read. Please increase your knowledge. See, vocabulary is a very wide topic, right? They can ask you any word, any N word. Unless and until you're through with your vocabulary, you need to practice a lot to learn that. And it will not only help you for this exam, it will help you in the future exams also. For vocabulary also, when you're writing a big, maybe Précis or note making or a letter or report, when you're writing, this vocabulary will help you there also. How? If you're using the synonym of the same word. Once you have used the word one time, and in the second line you're using the synonym of that word, it will help you great. It will help you for those topics as well. So vocabulary is equally important. Sentence types and vocabulary, this is the major grammatical portion, and you have to go through this particular grammatical portion very thoroughly. 25% out in this 40 marks is very important. You see how much weightage is this? 25%. 9 to 10 marks, they are equally important, right? It will not only help you to gain an understanding of the sentence and speaking, as well as speaking and writing. It will also help you to save time. If you know a topic, if you know the synonym of a subject in the paper, you'll gain confidence, and in seconds you can write the answers. Seconds. It will not take much time. All right. Coming to part 3, which is a comprehension. Just a minute. Coming to part 3, which is a comprehension, passage, and note making. It covers 10 marks, comprehension, passage, and note making. If you have seen our MTPs, our previous year question paper, this is a compulsory 1 mark first question, which is a compulsory question. If it is a compulsory question, you can see how important this topic is. Comprehension, what is comprehension, passage, and what is note making? I'll be discussing you in the later slides. I'll let you know how important is this and how you can do well in this communication, comprehension, and note making. But this covers 10 marks and compulsory question. This has to be performed well. All right. Then coming to developing writing skills. Developing writing skills, these are all 6 to 13 chapters. My God, 7 chapters. What kind of chapters are these? These are writing letters, report writing, article writing, Précis writing, meetings, all these things, writing formal mails, all these communication covered here. All these writing skills cover here, and it comes from 15 marks. 15 marks are equally important, right? So these questions are from question 2 to 5. Maybe the last part of all these questions come from this portion. The last part of all questions usually come from this question. So I have discussed with you the pattern of the question paper. This is a 40 mark of question paper combined with business law. See, if you find business law difficult, business law is also very convenient, but this is a scoring paper. You can score well in these paper to compensate with that paper also. All right. This is a 40 mark paper. You have aggregate time is 1 hour 10 minutes only. So adjust time as per the time availability. In this, you have to segregate your time for reading the question paper as well as writing everything, as well as revising the questions which you have already answered. So make a point that how will you segregate all these the time of 1 hour 10 minutes with all these things. The 1 hour 10 minutes is a shorter time, but yes, you have some scoring questions also. For example, from question 2 to 5, there comes the questions for vocabulary, converting the sentences from direct to indirect speech, active, passive voice. They won't take you much time. They'll take only few minutes to complete that question. If you have 2 part in question number 2, it'll take only 2 minutes to answer that question. But when you are already aware of that, if you know how to convert from active to passive voice or passive to active voice, you'll be able to do in a minute only. And now, taking the extra time from these questions and using the same time in the other question from writing letters, report, resume writing, and all these questions will help you in future. All right. I hope I'm very clear and very convenient to you. Let me see if I could see any query. Let me see the queries. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, everyone. Sneha Gupta is saying, ma'am, will the session be helpful for November-December exam? Dear student, please see the website as well for upcoming sessions and everything. Ma'am, please help us how to secure good marks. Ms. Ritu Tiwari is asking. I'm already sharing all these things with you. Mr. Sai Seking, ma'am, please help me. It's my 4th attempt. I fail in law, high marks in other subject, but I'm not getting marks in law. Please see, law faculty must have shared that with you. Mr. Lodha is saying that how to prepare for vocabulary chapter. See, vocabulary chapter, our Director Board of Studies have also discussed with you. You please keep learning new words, maybe from a newspaper, from a book, or from any place. So please keep learning everything. Every day, you please make it a point that you learn 5 new words. You learn 10 new words, so that you have a good grammatical grip on the words. Another thing, if you're learning few words, you say, for example, you're learning 5 words a day, please write it in a paper or in a notebook, so that you are able to revise that before your examination. Please write it. It will not only help you in the upcoming examination, but it will also help you for future. Using those words, you'll be future professionals. You're going to practice the profession, or you'll be entering into a job circle. You would be requiring new words. You would be requiring how to write things, write mails. This subject will already help you for all these things. All right. Okay, ma'am, Mr. Surya is saying, ma'am, tell me the ways by which we can do Précis. and note making, I'll tell you. This I'll be covering. All right. Ma'am, from which source we should prepare synonyms and antonyms and items for our examination? See, all these things, practice it from the study material. Then you have our RTP, MTPs, previous year RTPs, previous year question paper, suggested answers. There are many sources available. Please see the inputs. I'll share you with you where are those inputs on ici.org, our BoS website. For mock test papers, please download the mobile app and see the mock test paper. So you'll get many things to practice and to go through it. All right. Mr. Bhola, I've already covered your query. One of the students is asking, ma'am, I've studied in CBSE schools till 12th. Can I use the same format in note making, letter writing? Please see the formats in our study material also. It is more or less the same. Mr. Dhruv, what is your question? You're saying questions, answer kariye. Okay, how Miss Lakshmi is saying how to finish our paper in time and time management. Okay, I already told you, you have around 70 minutes for this paper. This is a very crucial paper and question, and I would like to answer this. It will help you in future as well. Okay, this you have 70 minutes for this. Fine. How to cover the 70 minutes? First, read your question paper, where you just need to spend your 5 to 10 minutes only. All right, read a question paper. Just give an overview of the question paper. Start with the question which you know the best. First question is compulsory, that you have to do. Out of 2 to 5, you have to do 3 questions. Now start with the question which you know the best. You've started with the question. It is requested to complete the question, and if you are unaware of one of the part of the question, please leave the space for that part and then proceed for the next question. Fine. For example, you're aware of the third question, you know the third question the best. You started with third question, the first part is over, second part is over, and the third part you're still unaware. Please leave the space for the third part and then start with the fourth part. All right, and then completing the first full question at one pace only. Fine. Now starting a new question, please start a new question with a fresh page only. Leave the space behind. If there is a space left in the previous page, please leave that page. You don't need to use that page. Start a new question with a fresh page only. All right. Now you know the fourth question, the second best questions. You can start with the fourth question. First part you can do. Second part you are not sure. Please leave the space for that. Then do the third part and then do the fourth part. But if you're not sure about the fourth part, please leave the space. So this way you start doing the paper. For applying the comprehension and note making, I'll tell you the ways how to do that. Comprehensions, passage and note making. Give yourself some time for reading the question, the comprehension passage. I'll tell you. I've already told you question 1 pertains to carrying 10 marks, which is a compulsory question, which has 2 subparts. One is comprehension passage and a note making. Fine. How this comprehension passage works? This is an integral part of our language. This tests your reading skills as well as your writing skills. Please understand, it also hones your analytical skills. Not only your reading and writing skills, but also hones your analytical skills. The way you perceive that passage, the way you understand that passage. Start reading that passage with an open and free mind. Do not create any pressure on yourself that it would be difficult. Usually the comprehension passages are very easy, right? Start reading the passage one by one. Underline the points which you think are important, right? Or make it in your mind, keep writing it in your mind. Okay, this point is important. Okay, this point is important. Please note that the comprehension passages are always exhaustive. Everything is included in this, the comprehension passages. All right. So if you have read all these things, do not give much more time over there. You've read everything. Now start doing the question. These are usually 1 mark question and one synonym and antonym question is there. All right. If you are aware of those questions, if you've already read it very properly, you will be able to answer all the questions. They are not that difficult. Could be one-liner or two-liner question. Start writing those questions. Okay, there are usually 1 mark, 5 questions. 5 questions of 1 mark each. All right. There could be a multiple choice question also, or writing subjective questions also, which is answered in basically 1 or 2 sentences. Right? When you're preparing, when you're reading that, question yourself what, when, where of this topic, what can be asked. So make these points in your mind only. All right. And then while writing the answer, you'll be able to easily answer those. All right. Please read the opening and closing remark of this question, these questions very carefully. Identify the relevant and irrelevant information. Right. Then now coming to the next question, which is note making. Again, reading the passage, start reading the passage. Now you have to write notes for us. How this note making is important, and why do the paper in exam do ask, when you go to your office and when you're attending a meeting or something like that, you need to prepare a note, and then you write to exaggerate that note, then you write to comprehend that note in a paragraph or something. So please understand there is a difference in note making and note taking. All right. While reading the passage, make notes in your mind. How can you write that? The notes should be very simple. There should be no full lines, full sentences should not be there. Small sentences, small words. You can use abbreviations. You can use everything for that, but be very careful while making the note. Maybe for the first para, you started with the first para, you have made 2 notes. Then for the second para, you have made 2 notes. And if they have subparts, you can use that. For example, you started note with a 1.1. Then it has a subpart, you can write 1.1.1, 1.1.2, 1.1.3. This way you can write that. You can use abbreviation if the word is being repeated many times. You can use the abbreviation. The abbreviation should be, the keys should be mentioned at the end of the note making, that these keys are used in the notes. Now, while writing, these things are to be taken care of. The format as well as abbreviation. Abbreviation should be written. It is compulsory. So please write it properly, very properly. If you're using, you should use some abbreviations and write it at the end that these abbreviations are used and the full word is for these abbreviations are these. Now coming to the, after note making, they ask you to make a summary. Usually the question comes for make notes and then make a summary. How the summary should be made? You've already made notes for this. Now the basic intent is, after this note, can you make a summary of all these points? How these points can be inculcated in one summary? This summary should not be more than half of the passage, which is already there in the question paper. It should not, the length should not be more than half of the passage. It should be rather very less. From these notes, include all the points from the notes in this passage, in this summary. The small points, the lines should be small, should be clear. The meaning should be clear. If you cannot use a very fancy word or very difficult words, please use simple. The lines should be as short so that the examiner make it convenient to understand what you're trying to convey. Your language should be easily understandable. Your message should be easily conveyed. All right. This summary usually contains 2 marks. So it is very important, right? Whenever you are reading this passage, read it twice. Give yourself time to understand what is the passage about and then write it properly. All right. I'll see some queries. I hope I'm clear for your question 1, which is of 10 marks and it is compulsory question. Miss Aditi is saying how much time we should spend in solving the comprehension passage. See, usually 10 minutes, maximum 10 to 12 minutes. Now it is upon you. How much time do you give? That is why I've asked you to read newspaper. That will increase your reading skills. Once you're very good in reading, you will easily read the in question paper also. One thing you should understand, student, you make it easy for the students, you make it easy for the examiner to check your paper. He'll make it easy for you to give you the marks. So the language should be very clear, very precise, easy, so that he can understand what you're trying to convey, right? Ma'am, Miss Ekta is saying first question of VCR, which is a compulsory. If we attempt passage, we only attempt passage and leave note making. In that case, our BCR section gets cancelled. No, it will not get cancelled, but yes, you will be losing the marks of note making. Note making does have marks. All right. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can we start with BCR question? Please, this examination department will answer. I think you get you get it in the combined. You get your question paper in the combined format. Miss Khushbu is saying, can we score 30 marks in BCR easily? Easily, you can score 30 marks in the BCR. Mr. Ansh is saying that I've not done BCR yet. Can we score good marks in BCR? Yes, you can do. You can easily do. The paper is not difficult. It is very easy, but you have to vary through with the vocab. You should study regularly. Vocab is something, it will not take much time of yours. Yeah, it will only take 5 to 10 minutes to learn 5 words or 10 words in a day, right? Practicing active passive voice, it will not take much time, right? How to score good marks, that I'm already telling you. I mean, already discussing you everything for this. All right. Coming to the next question, next thing, that the pattern of question paper, I've already told you, question 2 to 5 are also of 10 marks. See, 5 question, 10 mark each. First question is compulsory. Out of the 4, you have to do 3 questions, right? They are of 10 marks each, right? So the question out of which you are allowed to do 3 questions, right? Question part 2C is usually a Précis based question, Précis right. What is Précis writing? I'm just holding here only. How to write a Précis? What should we write in a Précis? And how much should be the length of Précis? What are the tips to go do a good Précis? First, read the question. While doing this 2C question, read the full passage. Try to jot down the points which you are already doing in this comprehension passage. Jot down the points in your mind, that these are all important points. Jot down in your mind only. Make a skeleton that how will you write the Précis. It is basically a small portion. The passage is converted into a small Précis, right? While writing, make sure of all nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, everything should be very clear and correct, right? Shorten the sentences. Short sentence should be used. Do not use a long sentence. Then always write it in the third person. That is, the indirect speech should be used. Don't use, and in past tense, you should be usually used, right? Then ensure the sequence is maintained. The way it has been done in the passage, it has to be done in the Précis as well. The sequence should be same, right? And very important, length of the passage. The length of the passage should only be 1/3 of the main passage. Length of the Précis should be only 1/3 of the main passage. It should be very crisp, very small. But all the content, everything in the passage should be covered here. All right. This I've already told you, the Précis writing is very important. It usually comes for 5 marks. So read it very properly and thoroughly. The reading work is very much here in this paper. So your reading skills should be good, right? And read and jot down the important points which you should write in your Précis. Everything should be covered here in the Précis, but in a shorter form. It should be, the length should not be more than 1/3 of your passage. All right. Now coming to the other questions, the question 2 is basically 2C is of Précis writing, and these questions are mix of level 2, that is comprehension and knowledge, and level 1 comprehension and knowledge, and level 2 application and analysis. How these questions are a combination. The usually A part or a B part, one part comes from the chapter communication from 2 to 5. I'm talking about the questions from 2 to 5. They come from the chapter communication, maybe the type, anything, right? Type, manner, anything. And the other parts come from the knowledge and the application and analysis based, like converted into antonyms or synonyms, right? Synonyms or antonyms, converted into direct and indirect speech. For this, you should be very much aware about the rules, how to convert the sentence structure. Everything should be very clear for you. All right. Now, this says each question has subpart comprising of communication. This I've already told you. That question number 2 to 5, 1 or 2 mark for a communication question. Then sentence type and vocabulary, that is 3 to 4 mark for this. Like maybe 2 mark for one question, 2 mark for another question, and then developing writing skills. What all is there in writing skills? This I've not covered, and I would like to cover this now. What is writing skills? It covers chapter 8 and 9. This is article and report writing. See, the maximum word limit for this is 250 to 300 words. Question comes that write an article or a report. It could be anything, an article or a report for this topic. Now, how to proceed with this topic? Now you have to make up your mind that how am I going to write for this? It usually the article writing comes in 3 paragraphs. One paragraph is an introductory paragraph. Then it comes to the main. Introductory paragraph can start with a quote also. It can start with how it started and what are the, just an introduction for the topic. Then it comes to the main body. Main body is the what is there in this topic. What are the cause and effects of this topic, or what is the origin of this topic? Everything you can write here. Then comes to the third paragraph. Third paragraph will cover what are the measures for this topic, maybe any solution, many measures, how can we overcome this, anything. It all depends upon the topic. And then your conclusive evidence for this topic, then how to conclude, what is your final comment, your final opinion for this topic. So this is the way an article is to be written. The first introduction, then the main body, what is the topic, how to proceed for this topic, and then the concluding, what could be the conclusion for this topic. This is usually for 5 marks. The same way report writing will also have this 3 paragraphs. First is the introduction. What is report writing? You're writing a report for an event or an incident. So then the introduction, you have to write what is the topic and who are the who are all involved organizers, or who are all involved in this topic, and then what is the objective, or if there is an event, who is the chief guest. This should all cover in first paragraph, right? Then comes to the second paragraph. Second paragraph covers what is the event, basically what is the event, how it happened, who came for the event, and what all was discussed in the event or incidents. Everything was discussed, this cause and effect of the incidents. And then comes to the concluding paragraph, which cover the future perspectives, important implications, major repercussion, concluding remarks, everything, comments, everything covers here in this topic. All right. So the writing, the report writing and article writing forms an important part. The word limit, please stick to the word limit. This is 250 to 300 words only, since it's a 5-mark question. You have to run through time as well. You have only 1 hour, 10 minutes for this paper. So please run through the time. You should not give a 400-word article or a 500. It will be difficult for an examiner also to go through the article. Fine. Give shorter sentence, simple sentence, use different words if you're aware of. If you're not, then use the same word. All right. Then comes to chapter 10 and 11. Chapter 10 and 11 are letters and mails. The letters and mails have should also not exceed the word limit of 250 words. Combined weightage of 3 to 5 marks, 3 plus 2, 5 marks. All right, these letters and mails, please see your study material letters. We are running short of time, so I'll be I'll be concluding the things. So, and the letters, the formats are already available over there in your study material. Please see the format. Just quickly going through the format, that should have the sender's address, the date, then your this addressee's address, then your subject, then your salutation, then comes the introduction paragraph, main body, and then the concluding remarks. All right, and then last with compliments along with the sender's names and address. This is the basic structure of the letter. Please see all the formats of the letter in your study material. Coming to the official communications and circulars, the study material already have this format. And mails also, mails, writing formal mails, the format usually is to the email ID, then CC whom you want to copy this mail to. Along with that, the subject, after that it's a subject, what is subject, and then writing a mail. Dear sir, dear ma'am, whatever you want to write, and then after that the salutations with warm regards or what, and your name designation as well as, since these are all formal mails, your designation also works. All right, you need to write your designation as well. And then the your name, designation, and mobile number if needed. Now, chapter 12 and 13 covers the resume writings and meetings. You resume writings and meetings with a maximum word limit of 300 words. See, usually resume writings comes with a cover letter also. This resume writing is not only important for this paper, it is also important for your forthcoming, for your future as well. When you are going for an interview, you need to prepare your remote. When you're going, you will be doing your articleship also. Then also you need to prepare the resume. In your study material, it is already given you're an article clerk, you're going for the interview. So please make a resume. You write a resume with a covering letter. The letter format has already been discussed in chapter 10 and 11, and then prepare a resume. Please prepare a resume in the formats given in the study material. The resume should be as simple as possible. Okay, the format usually is used by the students for applying for the professional courses that I've already discussed with you. All right, 3 types of resume usually. Normal resume, then they are functional resume, then they are combined resume. For normal resume is your technical skills and you're going for the articleship. Then the functional resume, the previous experience, if you have the previous experience, or the combined resume. All these formats I've already given in your study material. Then meetings covers your agendas, minutes of meeting, ATRs. The formats are also there in the study material. Basically, when you enter into an organization, you attend the meeting, these are all the writing things that need to be covered. What is the agenda? How should be the format? Agenda usually cover at what are topics to be covered, what are the time dedicated to be covered, and who are covering those topics. This is all the basic agenda, the basic reason for the meeting. This is all needs to be covered. The time, the topics, as well as who are going to cover this. Then comes the meeting meeting is happening, then covers the minutes of meeting. In minutes of meeting, at what time this meeting was held and who said what. This is basically writing the meeting, writing everything in minutes of the meeting, what happened. Just making it in a writing format, that these things have happened in the meeting. All right, the date, time, venue, and now who spoke what. This is to be written in the meeting. Then action taken report. Action taken in report is this has been discussed in the meeting, and what action has been taken by the organization, by the employees of the organization after the meeting. This is to be there. This is usually discussed in the next meeting. Once the meeting is concluded, the action this has been taken, this has been asked by the in the meeting to the employees that you have to conclude this, you have to do this. Then in another meeting, the next meeting in the beginning, that this is all the action taken for the previous meeting, for the discussion held in the previous meeting. All right, let me go through the queries. Mr. Sid Jen is saying that, can I complete my syllabus if I start from them? Yes, you can. Arav, can I attempt all 40 of BCR only And 10 or 20. No. Go for, but please see your law paper as well. All right. Mr. Andrews is saying that can we attempt first BCR question and then business law? See, you ask. I think there is no problem in this. Please, but you ask your examination department for this. How much marks is compulsory in BCR? I told you first question is 10-mark question, which is compulsory. Out of 10, then out of the other 30 marks, 40 marks questions are available. You have to perform any 3 questions. Yes, you need to pass. At least you need to pass in this paper as well. You need to pass in both the papers. All right. Ma'am, give me for some tips for article writing. I've already given you many tips. Mr. Sid is again asking, I am not completed my first revision. Can I pass in CA Foundation? Please study, give your devote time. Your exam are starting on 24 June. This is the crucial time and most important time for you in life. So please study. You want to be a good professional as well as a good human being, devote time on yourself. Please understand whatever you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for your parents or your family or your friends. You will only be benefited once you are a true professional. So devote time on yourself. All right. How much time we allocate each question, because we have 1 hour and we'll be allocating that 1 hour. I've already discussed with you, give 5 to 10 minutes for brief reading. Then make it in your mind which question you need to perform. Then again, give a good time to your maybe around 40 minutes or 45 minutes for you to perform the paper, and then devote 10 to 10 minutes at least to revise the paper. Always give 10 minutes for revising the paper, for writing, for reading it again. You might get something which you need to rewrite or you need to change. So please give at least 10 minutes to revise the paper. Ma'am, there will be same question for Précis, note making and comprehension passage. No, there won't be same question. There would be different passages for this. Ma'am, please give me tips for article writing. For article writing, see, if you're aware of the topic, it is very good. Okay? And if you're unaware of the topic, but you still have some knowledge, I've already told you, give a brief introduction. Start writing, but please, if question says write for A, do not write for B or C. Give a brief introduction, then start with what is there in the passage, how, when, what. These are all. What is the basic issue with this passage? What is the basic, for example, the COVID consequences, impact on people. Then you please, in the second paragraph, give that this has impacted this way. The COVID has the number of cases has increased. After then that, give a concluding remark that this can be overcome by this, maybe government can interfere. So the concluding remark in the third passage, but do not increase the word limit from 250 to 300 words. All right. Ma'am, please tell how to score in writing skills. See, writing skills can only be increased by practicing more and more. There are many topics available in RTPs, MTPs, previous year question papers. Please practice this. Write it as much as you can. And once you're through in your English vocabulary as well as your sentence formation, you will be able to write as quickly as possible, because you have to write a lot here. All right. This can only be possible when you're through with the English. Ma'am, should we count while writing? No, you don't need to count. But you should have a basic idea how much page you can use, or write the first. The way usually it happens is first line, count the words of the first line, and then count number of lines. Maybe the first line have 8 or 9 words, and the number of lines are 10. Then 10 into 9 is 90. This is 90 words. So see, I mean, you should have a rough idea. Please don't count 1, 2, 3. It will be very difficult and you'll be wasting your time with it. Ma'am, can 40 to 40 can be possible? 40 to 40. It depends upon you, how you perform, how you prepare yourself. Ma'am, MCQ are in BCR. Yes, MCQ questions are there in BCR, like synonyms and tonyms. I told you. Ma'am, if the main answer sheet is completed, whether we get additional, yes, you can get easily additional answer sheet. Ma'am, letter and mail both combines of 5 marks, or letter of 3 marks and mail of 2. See, it is an optional question. This is just a suggested pattern. This is not, this is just maybe a question may be asked for 5 marks for letter writing, right? It could be 3 plus 2 as well. It could be a 5 mark also. So anything could be asked. Usually a letter comes for 5 marks. All right. Anything could be asked. Okay. I told you, if the main answer sheet is completed, whether we'll get an additional answer sheet. Yes, you'll get additional answer sheet. Don't worry. All right. Okay, these know your syllabus. I've already discussed with you all the chapters regarding the syllabus applicable for June 2023 examination. This is the study material for September 2021. This is already hosted on the website also. Please see that. How to prepare, I've already told you. This familiarize with the knowledge inputs that I've told you, that MTPs, RTPs, previous year question paper, suggested answers, time planning. Students, if you only give 1 hour, 15 minutes, regular basis for this paper, you'll be able to secure well in this exam. Please give. But yes, chapter 1, you need to thoroughly study. Chapter 1, I've told you, is the only theory chapter which you get the direct or indirect question. Please understand all the concepts of chapter 1. Study relevant material. Only hard work will not help you. Smart working will also help you. So please be smart. You know these questions are important. You know these questions you're aware of properly. Please do that question first. And time management, I'll explain you. I have already explained you many things about time management, but this is your time. You know yourself best. So manage time as per your discretion, your acceptance. Prepare notes for revision. Keep yourself updated. Reading newspaper will help you to keep yourself updated. Okay, you cannot devote much time, devote less time. Don't worry. Next mock test paper is going to happen. Please download the mobile app and then try to attempt that mock test paper. Please do that mock test paper in a real examination scenario. Try to do stick yourself in the real examination environment. Yes, you have to give only 3 hours to yourself to solve that paper. Then analyze all your answers with the answers posted on the website. Analyze all your answers. But yes, give yourself full time, 2 to 5, and solve it in your own way. All right. This could be the basic idea of giving you mock test. Is analyze your preparation, where you stand. All right. We have study materials, RTPs and suggested answers, student journals for academic update, and the capsules are also there, references for quick revision. This is also there in the hosted on the website, mock test paper and virtual classes, which your Vandana ma'am has told you that these classes are also there on BoS mobile app. All right. Acquaint, what is the strategy? Acquaint yourself with the syllabus. The syllabus we have discussed. Assimilate the knowledge input. Plan your studies to keep at least 2 rounds of revision after your study. Yes, you need to revise at least 2 times. One is the main revision, then the second revision. You need to study. Prepare necessary note. Once you're doing your first round of preparation, make a note that this is important, this can be done at this stage, and during the second revision it will help you to revise in a quicker manner. All right, keep yourself updated. All right, while attempting the question, read the information and only give the requirement of the question. If the question is asking you to write formal communication, do not write informal communication. All right. They're asking you to write the physical barrier, do not write any other barrier. Knowledge aspects and its application. Think about the application of the question. Write clearly and crisply. Your handwriting should be very clear, crisply. All right. I am coming directly. I already told you, first answer the question which you know the best. Then attempt all the subparts of the question at one place. The speed should be good, and read all the answer again. Revise. Revision is important. How to manage time? Make the optimum use. Go through the questions quickly. Select the question that you will be attempting from all the questions. Mark the question that you will be attempting first. Allocate and estimate time based on the difficulty level. See, keeping aside 10 to 15 minutes for revision. I told you at least 10 minutes you should have for revision. And for law also, at least 10 to 15 minutes you should keep for revision. Write answer in commensuration with the marks with the question carry. Answer should be precise and to the point. If there is a 2-mark question and you're writing a full page on this question, it won't help you. All right. Okay. Do and don'ts. Do not go for selective study. All chapters are equally important. There is no chapter which is more important, no chapter which is less important. All chapters are equally important. Focus on the theoretical and conceptual clarity of each topic for developing your analytical skills. Do adequate practice. Do write complete words. We usually write abbreviation. Abbreviation is required in note making, but not in other things. All right. Do not use abbreviations. All right. Please write complete words. Do use different types of sentences. If you are aware of, if your vocabulary, your writing skills are good, use simple sentence, compound, complex sentence while writing your writing skills. Then direct and indirect speeches to highlight your writing skills, that you're already aware of all these things. All right. Especially while attempting part 4 questions. Do not repeat the same point to increase the length of the question. A long answer will not gain you marks unless and until it is appropriate. The knowledge is different, apt. Do not write overly long sentence with multiple clauses. Make it short. It will be easier for the examiner to read. Do not use unfamiliar words. Very different word, very unfamiliar word. Be careful while using the information given in the question. You should be very careful. Do not repeat a word. If you are aware of the synonyms of the word, please use the synonyms of the word. All right. If you're writing a passage or you're writing an article, you know the different words you can use. So please use those words. And do not use your word limit, 250 to 300 word time limit, 15 to 18 minutes specifically for writing exercises. All right. Assess your preparation level by attempting the previous year question. It is not that I've told you the 70 minutes are only there. You can use your time. You can extend your time also as per your preparation level in this paper as well as in other paper. You can take 1.5 hours also. If you're through with your law paper, you start doing this paper. So it is all upon you. This is the minimum time you can spend here. So there is no maximum limit. It all depends upon you. If you're very through with this paper, BCR, you can complete this paper in this much time as well. All right. Assess your preparation level by attempting the previous year question papers or under mock examination condition. Surrender yourself in the room and then do this paper properly as you do in the examination hall. Then you'll be able to analyze where you stand. Is calculator allowed for this paper? Student, I think calculator is not required for law as well as for this paper. You wish you want to take it, you can take. Ma'am, how to score 35? I've discussed with you many tricks, many tips to secure good marks in this paper. Is it necessary to take our answer in the exact as in suggested answer in ICI for note making? No, student, you don't need to answer exactly in the same manner. The main manner, it is the same in given in the suggested answers or mock test papers or RTPs. These are all hints for you. See, writing can be in any way or in any format. So you can write it in your own language or in any format. All right. Or all the best for your preparation. Do well. See, you coming with the paper number 1. I know number 1 would have been completed, and then you're starting with your preparation for paper number 2 after this 24th January. So please, after attempting the paper number 1, forget what you have done. Focus only and only your paper number 2 then. All right. Eat well, sleep well, devote time on yourself. Don't worry, everything will be fine. Your paper will be good. If you are positive for your paper, you'll be able to score well in your exams. So keep yourself calm, keep yourself updated. Don't worry. You can write easily. Your hands should run over the question paper answer sheet. All right, but for that you need to calm yourself. You need to keep your tempo down, mellow down. It'll be all okay. All right. In mobile app, MTP series updated only intermediate 1 and 2 and not for foundation series. See, it is there. Please update your mobile app. How to study for synonyms, ma'am? Synonyms are, it's just go for dictionary. See dictionary, there are synonyms given. You can see online as well. Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Shlok. Please tell me how many previous year question papers should we solve for each subject? You can solve as many as you want and how much time you have. It depends upon the level of preparation and time for preparation. If you have not covered all your papers and you're starting doing the previous year question paper, it won't help. First, complete your subject, complete your syllabus, then start doing. Ma'am, if I get stuck in the question, then I'm afraid to skip. See, if you're stuck in a question, Mr. Devansh, don't worry. If try to analyze yourself, give yourself 2-3 minutes if you are able to think and if you're able to write anything. After 2-3 minutes, stop that question, give space for that question and start doing the other question. If you're stuck in a question and devoting all the time in that question, it won't help you. You'll be losing time for that. So please don't devote much time. I told you hard work along with the smart work will help you to secure good marks. Give yourself 2-3 minutes to think, analyze yourself with a peace of mind. And if you're unable to answer it, maybe a 5-minute thing. But if you're unable to answer it, just leave the page and then start with another question. Maybe at the time of revision, you may be able to know, okay, this answer should be there. Because it happens. That also hears. So don't worry. If you're skipping that, you're losing 2-3 points. Don't worry. You might remember that at the time of revision. All right. Okay, student, I hope I have covered all your queries and I hope the session is good for you. I've covered everything and all the best for your preparation. Do well and be calm and composed. Don't panic. Always good wishes for your upcoming examination. Thank you so much.